Well, I'm out in the backyard today and we got a little bit of a problem. The peach trees just aren't producing any peaches this year. I trimmed them up back in January. I cut them back pretty good. Not as much as what I thought I should have, but I cut them all back because they were neglected by the previous owner that lived here before us. And I think from cutting them all back, they're kind of just trying to regrow what they lost, and instead of producing peaches, and the pear trees are the same way, they're producing just extra branches. More of a issue than that, though, are all the yellowing leaves that are on here. You can see them throughout. We got some on the ground here, and I just mowed yesterday, so these are all fresh leaf losses. So what I did, I went on Amazon here, and I got some of these Miracle-gro fruit and citrus tree fertilizer spikes. And if you look at the back here, got two of these. Each of these are about $10 a piece. You put these spikes around the tree, across the drip line there, and that helps replace some of the nitrogen that's lost. And I think that's, from what I read online, that's the result of the yellowing leaves. It's all from loss of nitrogen. So we're going to put these around the trees and see how we make out. Now here's what these things look like out of the box. Basically what you do is you just put it down and you pound it in the ground using these caps. Roxy's interested in that. That ain't a treat. You think that's a treat? And here you can see them all. They gave me 2 caps. I read some reviews online. People said these things break pretty easily, and they recommend wetting the soil a little bit if you're going to be putting it in the ground. I'm already not really following directions because you're supposed to use it in the spring and fall and it's summertime, but we got to do something here to get things fixed. Now, because the trees are so close together, I think I'm just going to try to put them down the center there, going back like this, because you can't keep these things too close together. Then I'll kind of do it on the outside of the trees out there too. I think I'll just start by putting them down on the ground, and then we'll moisten the soil and put them in the ground from there, just so I can kind of plan things out a little bit. Okay, I'll show you my setup here. Got one space over there. These are the pear trees down here. As you can see, I kind of have one in the middle between these 2 trees, and it's the same principle following the whole way back. I've got some on the outside of all these. I don't know if you can see them in the camera there, but I kind of have them all evenly spaced, so each tree kind of has about 3 or 4 running around it. Got one there. We got them out here too. So I'm just going to kind of pound them in the ground where they stand, and hopefully that'll help out. First I'll get the ground wet. Alright, we'll pound it in the ground. I read online from a few people that it might be easier to dig this in first, dig a small hole and then put it in, but we'll see how it pounds in first. I'm going to dig a hole first before I put it in. Because this isn't working out well, just pound it in with a hammer. So this is how I'll start out. There we go, one done. So we'll move on to the next one. I'm on to the second one. I found the best thing to do is to dig a hole first, and then you put it in there and just kind of pound it in a little bit if you need a little more depth. So I just dig this out a little bit. When you're down deep enough, just drop it in. And what I started doing, instead of putting just a regular dirt around it, I also put some of this garden soil. Thought it couldn't hurt. That'll just keep it in place there. Might have to pound this one down just a little bit so I don't hit it with the tractor. Okay. That should do it. So I just repeat that with all the next ones here, and we'll be all finished up with this. Well, it's a lot later in the day, but I'm finally done. Those bikes were definitely labor intensive, putting them all into the ground like that. Basically took a shovel, little hand shovel, and dug a hole for each one, and then I put the spike in and pounded it in a little bit further with a hammer on top of it. So I can't help but feel like I put $20 into the ground, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get it back. But I'll have an update here after things change a little bit. Maybe this will help out, maybe not, who knows, but they're in the ground, so we'll see what happens.